Hi everyone, it's Kelsey from my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. And today's video will be talking about Angus Brayshaw's retirement. And also the Melbourne Football Club situation as well. And if we can, we'll go into the North Melbourne situation now. If you are returning Kelsey Magpies, welcome, like, comment, share. If you're new to the channel, watch this for the first time, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, it's sad to see Angus Brayshaw retire. Unfortunately, he's been forced to retire because of the concussion. And look, as we know, it does happen a fair bit. But what can you do? You know, there's not much that you can do. It's AFL football. You know exactly what you're going to get. You know, it's just something that you often see as well, that, you know, you can do that. You know, it's sad that the injury has come, and I know that Bray Maynard's copped a lot of hate for it, and there are fans out there that gone on to his personal Instagram and really are very nasty, and the hate towards him, and, you know, just to target him because of what he did. But having said that, it's not good that that's been happening on of the Melbourne supporters or opposition fans. You think there are probably Melbourne supporters, because some of them are, you know, hate Brad Maynard for that incident, and there are other fans out there as well. But having said that too, it's not Brady Maynard's fault what happened. It's a football action, went for a smother. Had he not tried to, you know, protect himself, he would have copped a concussion as well. And again, football is a 360-degree game. You know, incidents can happen. Like, I know Angus Brayshaw was one concussion away for seriously, like, having to retire, like, having permanent damage to his brain. And Bernie Vince said one thing that, and I did hear the clip, that Angus Brayshaw is too courageous for his own good, that he doesn't protect himself. He leads with his head down. And look, at times he can, you know, that can certainly, you know, not being able to protect yourself and use your body for that, you know, it can get you, you know, having incidents as well. So, like, I do think that is, you know, it is concerning. It's sad that a player has to retire because of the concussion and the repeat concussion knocks that he's had. But the head knocks that he's had in four multiple concussions in 12 months between 2016 and 2017, and having to, you know, not play footy for a while, and it actually took him a while to get back into playing, and that's well documentary as well. But if you want duty care, do they look at those incidents and do they think that is a suspendable act? Because I guarantee you now, some of them aren't suspendable. Some of them, to the hits that you cop on a football field, isn't, you know, something that you see more often. But having said that, like, I do think that, you know, you are going to get injured when you're playing AFL football. It's just a part of sport. You train the way you play, you know. And you look at Nathan Murphy, and I get worried about Nathan Murphy because he's one hit that he copped, and he copped one at training with Nick Dacos, and you train the way you play. But having said that too, like, I got worried about him, and he said he was fine, but he pulled himself out. He pulled himself off, and really in the grand final, and he felt a bit of dizziness, like he passed the test, but because he felt the dizziness, he decided, nah, I can't continue. And I think that's really brave from him. I think players are too courageous for their own good. Like, they make poor decisions. Clubs makes poor decisions all the time. And when you have a look at the Port Adelaide players, Leah and another Port Adelaide player collided with an accidental head knock, and they didn't come off for they didn't do the concussion test for at least 20 minutes. And monitored that, and they copped a $100,000 fine. The Brisbane Lions and AFLW, one of their players, got $20,000 for a concussion as well. You start to question, because there's a lot of head knocks going around, like, can you really do much about it? And, I do agree with the commentators is that, what more could have Maynard done, but also with the head knocks as well. The Cosy Pickett incident where he launches himself and Bailey Smith, hits the ground hard but bounces straight up. And had he got knocked out, well, he probably would have got more Cosy Pickett. And Cosy Pickett, did that on purpose. His intent was to hurt. But yet Melbourne fans don't want to talk about that at all. They don't want to talk about what he's done to a current player. A few times that he has got away with it. Current fans celebrating when Patrick Cripps got off when Archie got a concussion. When he, elbowed Archie in the head. Current fans were cheering that on when he got off. Like, it was a big celebration when he should have got, realistically, 2 weeks, but he got off with the lawyer. That had nothing to do with the law. It was whether or not it was a football action or not. So they changed the rules with that. And it's just like, other players do get protected in that way. So, at the end of the day, I think that is a concern that you have, that some players are a little bit more protected. And if the AFL were serious on this, they would have said to Patrick Cripps, no, you're getting 2 weeks. Archie had to come off for a HIA test and he could not pass. What would have happened if Archie had to retire from that incident where he could not sleep, where he was struggling? That hit that he had, that could have caused it. And we know all about concussions. I'm all for protecting off the head, but at the same time, some players have got hard heads than others. Some players are fragile. And what I mean fragile is it's not in a nasty way. It's that some players are prone to injuries more than others. So, again, you can't really say, hate Maynard for that incident. You can't blame him for that incident. And there's been a lot of hate, and there's people out there on Twitter, and look, I've copped it on TikTok with the comments. It's like, well, hang on a minute, it's not that people hate our club. I mean, Carlton fans would hate us, Essendon fans probably hate us, even Richmond fans would hate Collingwood. Maybe Port Adelaide and Adelaide because there's a rivalry there. But having said that too, that incident with Brandon Maynard and Angus Brayshaw, right, that was front on. Now, I know Brayshaw went towards his direction, and that got pointed out in the end. I would have used the whole, well, he collided with Taylor Adams' knee, and he looked a bit dazed, and on Jacob Weedling copped that, and he had to be helped up, and then play out the game, which again, I think the umpires need to be, blow the whistle, say, hang on a minute, get him off. go and get him tested for concussion. And I think that's what the AFL need to do more often, is that they have a look, and it's just like, okay, that player has to come off. He can't come and take his kick, even if you have to drag him out off the ground, because you got to protect players, right? If it's all about, if you're gonna have a duty of care, where was Melbourne's duty of care with that? Like, they should have took Angus Brayshaw off, got in a test now, whether or not he passed or not, and he could say, look, I'm a bit dazed, I don't think I should go out there. Well, then you can make that call. But because when Maynard jumped in the air to smell the ball after he kicked it, he did go into, he did divert in towards Maynard, and that's what caused the collision to come. Now, so again, like, it is sad that players get injured, and look, I'm all for protecting the head, but at the same time, you're going to have accidents like that. Players get injured all the time, and it's just part of the game. It's part of footy. So I think people need to get off Brody Maynard's back, and they need to show some respect then, and not to, message him privately on Instagram, or people, blaming Maynard for that incident, for that one concussion, when it was clearly he's had multiple concussions, but yet, he chose a doctor, and they've passed him before. He could have just as much as gone, when you know what, with concussions these days, I don't think I should play on. He could have done that back then as well, and it's not victim blaming whatsoever. It's just it's a fact. If I were Murphy, I probably would not want to play on at the end of the season. I would want to probably retire, because that incident where he's got the rest of his life to live, and I think Murphy's selfless decision to not go back on the field shows that, hey, just because you pass a HIA test, you may not feel good, and it's all about, I'll do what's, good for the team, and I won't risk myself because I know I'm not going to be at 100%, and I just don't want to put myself in that position where I have to come off and then can't play, footy for next year. So that's where I'm at with that. But let me know what your thoughts are as well, because I know this is going to cop a fair bit. Joel Smith is in serious trouble with possible trafficking. And look, this is serious. And look, there's rumours going around about the messages that he could possibly name a couple players out there. Look, I think it's stupid to do cocaine before game. Now, if that's been proven, he'll get a 2-year ban, you think. He's been suspended for that until further notice. But if he does name either the players or coaches, and that's a rumour that's been going around, I think Melbourne Football Club is going to struggle with that, and I definitely do think that can potentially happen as well. Like, we don't know how far this is going to go, so if the rumours are true, I don't know. It's just I've heard that around the traps. Apparently, there were messages, text messages going around that with Joel Smith as well. But if this tends to be proven true, then this is definitely going to interrupt Melbourne's season dramatically, and they'll fall off the cliff. So I don't see them making finals now. Obviously, you wait and see how the footy goes, but if they don't start the season well, then they're going to be in trouble. Now, one thing with Max Gawn comments where Melbourne Football Club's going to have a drug problem. Let me tell you something, Max. Now, you may be interested, that's fine. But you don't know the results of your teammates' drug test results. Because this is confidential, right? Now in the situations where it goes out in the public and it comes out, where this is confidential is when you test positive, only the club doctor will know, nobody else knows. Now, this is where I think it's wrong. I think with the Ginnivan situation, and I've said this before, I think it's wrong to film players without their permission when they're in toilets, because I think, people will be delusional to think that, their club is safe, they don't have a drug culture problem. I guarantee you now, there are players from every single club that are on drugs right now that you don't even know about. This is when Max Gawn needs to pull his finger out. Melbourne have got a serious drug culture problem. We know the Clayton Oliver situation, the stuff that's happened with him off field, and the way that they've handled that. But having said that too, I don't think it's fair that you can say, but I would have known about it, they would have told me, or, had I seen it, then, definitely would have known. But just because you can say, we don't have a drug culture problem, and, I would have known about it, or I would have been told. No, you don't, Max. You don't get told at all. This is confidential. This is where the players completely keep this confidential to medical doctors as well. Just like when we go to the doctors, right? It's confidential. Nobody else knows your medical records. Except for maybe when you're working that. So, at least, that is completely different. But I guarantee you now, there will be at least a few players on every other club that are doing drugs right now that you don't know about, whether on the first strike, second strike, wherever it is. And that's just the way the AFL is. So that's what's that's what's happening right now. But if I'm Max Gawn, Melbourne seriously do have a culture problem, and they do have a drug culture problem. In particular, the issues that's happened off field with Joe Smith and the rumours about, apparently he's going to drop text messages bombshells. It's whether or not that does happen or not, who knows. But when that does come out, then it's really disappointing for that. So you can't live like that. I think it should be name and shame. I think if you are the member of that football club, I think you got every right to know. Because that stuff, at least it's just like, okay, well, you can suspend them, but also get the help that they need as well. So you can do it that way. And that way that you can rehabilitate them and test them as well, make sure that, they are okay from that as well. Now, Taron Thomas, after copying an 18-week suspension, I should say, being sacked by North Melbourne. Look, I think this should have happened last year, to be honest. I'm glad that has happened. But I don't think he'll get picked up now. I really don't. So we'll definitely see out of that and what comes out of it. But let me know what you guys think about it. Can we do anything about concussions or not? Who knows? It's just tough because it's a 360-degree game. you can get hit by your own teammate by accident. But then that doesn't get looked at. So, concussions can happen at any time. But hope you guys like the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.